This is not a very fun podcast to post. Ralphie May, a comic and someone I was very fortunate to know and actually have on this podcast, passed away. And it sucks. Ralphie was a really good guy, like a genuinely nice guy. He was funny, he worked hard, and it sucks that he's not here anymore. I do want to share the podcast I did with him. I'm going to play that, but first I do want to share just a couple ways that Ralphie affected me. So I first met Ralphie in May of 2016. I was in Nashville doing a small comedy festival, and I saw that they were doing Kill Tony at the Zanies there, and I had done Kill Tony once before, and I was like, oh, I'll just try this. So I went with my friend Catherine Pavanelli, and we went, and we both got drawn. She got drawn first, and then I got drawn second. I did just a minute of material, and he said that he thought I was really funny. And that felt amazing to hear from somebody that's done so much and had so much success, to have him just tell me that I was funny. Having somebody like that say good things about what you're doing feels incredible. 3 weeks later, I was in LA and I was at the Comedy Store, and he happened to be there, and he ran into me and he remembered me. He said, oh, hey, Sleepy, how you doing? And we talked for a little bit, and it just felt really cool that he actually remembered who I was, because he meets a ton of people all the time. And I ran into his manager there, and his manager, Ben, had seen me too. And he's like, oh, like, you should hit us up. We're going to be in Chicago in December. You should, hit me up when it gets around there. And I said, okay. So I reached out and I asked if Ralphie wanted to do the podcast. And they said, sure. So I came up to Milwaukee. On my way driving there, his manager, Ben, calls. He said, oh, by the way, Ralphie wants you to do 15 minutes up top. And I was like, okay. And this was a theater. This is a theater show. I had never done a theater show before. It was an amazing opportunity, and he gave that to me. That was incredible. It was super awesome to be able to do that and perform in front of that many people. And we did the podcast afterwards. The thing about the podcast is we actually recorded about 20 or 30 minutes beforehand that didn't record properly, because I had a very old computer at the time and it was being finicky, and it was quite embarrassing. And I thought, oh, fuck. I just got the biggest interview I've ever gotten, and I screwed it up. And Ralphie was just like, no big deal, girl. Let's just start again. No big deal. We'll get it. We'll do it again. And he so didn't have to do that. He was just so freaking nice, and even went out of his way to do things for me. He asked what I was, because it was near the holidays. He said, are you going home for the holidays? He knew I was from Louisville. I said, yeah. He said, well, we're actually driving through Louisville. If you want to hop on the tour bus and do a couple more shows with us, I can give you a ride home. Who does that? Who offers to give someone a ride home on their tour bus? Nobody does that. It was an amazing experience to have a couple more shows and to hang out with him and Ricky Cruz and everybody. And I learned so much that I can't quantify just being on the road with those guys, seeing how they do things, seeing him perform every night. And he's the guy that he will perform as long as it takes till he thinks that people get their money's worth. He'll make sure that they got their laughs worth out of every show. He brought his all. He really cared about having a great show for the audience. And that's why I know, seeing that he had, I think they said he had pneumonia for 6 weeks, and he was in the hospital when this happened. I know that even if he was sick, he would still be out performing shows, because that's the kind of guy he is. And there are just so many other things that he wanted to do, which if you listen to this interview, he talked about how he was talking to the Democrats of Tennessee and possibly considering running for governor and doing something more doing more things beyond comedy. And I know that there's so much more he wanted to do. And he's so fucking smart. He's so smart. Seriously. He's so smart, and people don't talk about that much, but he's an incredibly intelligent person, and talking about issues and things that he believed in, and he was incredibly smart, and he cared a lot about people, and loved his kids, and he was really just a great guy that will be missed. Like I said, I'm not very good at death and talking about people. I just wanted to share some of my experiences with Ralphie May, who's really a great guy, and I'll miss him. He certainly had a big impact on me, and I'm sure he had an impact on so many other people as well. But here's this interview that I was fortunate enough to get with him and Ricky Cruz, and I hope you enjoy it. Sleeping with Sarah. Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, and I'm here with my guest, Ralphie May.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi, all Sarah's fans. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is fun. How'd you sleep last night?
You know, pretty good. You take that Ambien and you find something soft to lay on and you're warm, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I mean, it's so cold. Oh my God, it's like -8. And my bus, I mean, it's all windows. And so it is freezing in there. My heaters are breaking left and right. I mean, it is phenomenally cold. I mean, my bus doors don't open. The water stopped. It's so cold, the satellite stopped.
Oh.
Yeah. When invisible waves of energy are blocked, okay, because of the cold, it's fucking cold. It's cold.
Yeah. I think that just the cold in this area in general, like just, it's never this cold in December. It's cold in this cold in February.
Yeah.
Like this is not normal. But, so do you usually sleep well on the bus? Like, is that normally?
You know, unless the roads are bad. I do, you know, I like going to sleep after a show, taking a shower, going to sleep after a show, and then waking up at radio in the next town. I like that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like I get the most rest. I'm at the place. I have my coffee maker on my bus. I have an espresso. I go in and tell jokes and fucking come back out and crash.
You got your dogs on the bus? My
dog is on the bus. My boy Biscuits is with me. He is the best. He's an English bulldog, and he's fucking hilarious.
Biscuit is an adorable name, by the way.
He is adorable. He's white and brown. Looks like a biscuit.
That's great. So you always take him?
He's new. I had a great dog. I had a couple of great dogs in my life. My American boxer Pimpy was a fucking phenomenal road dog. I mean, that guy, he went to 39 states and owned everything everywhere. You know, I mean, people loved him. He'd come to the show. He'd sit down. You'd tell him to stay in the green room. He'd just stay there.
Oh.
When he was a pup and I wasn't famous, I'd have to leave him in the hotel room. So I'd turn on Caesar Milan, a dog whisperer, and my dog would jump up on the bed and sit and watch and bark.
He would just watch the...
He would watch it. And you know what's cool? Is before he lived to be 13, and in comedy, it allows you to do cool things sometimes. You know, meet cool people. I was actually on an episode of Caesar Milan's The Dog Whisperer, and my dog Pimpy got to be on there. As soon as he saw him, he peed. He was so excited.
He was an old dog.
Yeah. No. He got to be on with Caesar.
So when he saw him, he was
Yeah. He was like, oh my God! It was his bucket list thing. He's like, oh my God, that's Caesar!
All right, like his Make-A-Wish. Yeah,
it was definitely his Make-A-Wish. He had congestive heart failure, and he was a bad motherfucker. He didn't give a shit. Pimpy was bad to the bone. And then I had Hoochie Mama, okay, and Hoochie was just a peach of a dog. She was an English bulldog.
I love your dog names, by the way. Pimp, Hoochie Mama, and Biscuit. Biscuits, plural.
Yeah, plural.
With a Z or with an S?
Oh, S. A Z would be ostentatious.
That's great. No,
It's nice having your dog with you on the road because it's like, I mean, one thing about it gets lonely. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in different cities every night and different states a lot of times. And you're by yourself. And so it's like, you know, I'm not going to go out and just try to fuck everything all the time because that's vacuous and empty. And so I just hang out with my dog. You know, I'd rather do that than listen to inane woman banter. Okay, you know, hear cat stories about when they were 13, or you know,
or seeing bachelorette parties in Nashville.
Oh my god, I know. There's so many bachelorette parties in Nashville. Holy shit! Makes it great though. It's fun.
Yeah, Nashville's fun. I loved it I love it when I'm there.
It is a blast. Come get drunk.
Yeah, and we got. You want to drive? You can drive. Yeah. Okay.
That was the voice of Ricky Cruz, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Comedian.
He was.
Sarah fucked up and didn't hit record.
We already recorded this thing.
Yeah, we already did this for an hour.
I know. It's like the most famous person I've had on my podcast, and I fuck it up.
I'm just a comedian. Not a celebrity. I'm just a comic. Yeah. Kardashians are.
I love a beer.
You have some of that one. I'm going to get another one. Maybe.
Oh, because you had to go outside to get it?
Took forever. Somebody bought me that outside, but.
That's awesome.
Well, why did you offer it to me?
I'm offering it to you. Sure.
Yeah. That's so nice. I feel like a dick if I take it, though.
Maybe you get sleepy.
Yeah.
I'll sip.
Yeah, don't get sleepy.
I'll be fine. You were telling me earlier that you have you had a thing where you were up for a long time, like insomnia.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh my god. Mine was forced on me by the doctors. I got bilateral double pneumonia and a pulmonary embolism, and I was given 5% chance of living, and I had to stay awake for 11 days to breathe. I had to, every breath was a work, and it broke my mind. And so after that, I would go 4 or 5 days without sleep, get crazy, and then crash for 2 days, sleep 20 hours a day or more, just to make up for it, just so exhausted. And then I'd go out and do it all again. And it broke me. And so...
How did you not go insane? Like
I thought I was going insane. My wife at the time, my ex now, thought I was on drugs. I was a drug addict. You know, because my backpack I call Whitney because it's black and full of pills. And she didn't know what any of those pills were, okay? She didn't know. One is an anti-inflammatory. One is fucking Coumadin at the time, which is a blood thinner because I got the pulmonary embolism. And then, like, none of it was any fun. None of it was.
It wasn't the fun pills.
No, it wasn't pain meds, opiates, and it wasn't benzos. Okay, I wish. That would have been awesome. Okay, but it just wasn't.
Just serious medicine.
And it's like, and when I did take pain meds or something like that, because I wasn't resting because I was not sleeping, I'd hurt more because I wasn't resting. And so if I took pain meds, it was always as prescribed and never fucking hitting it, you know, like some people chew them. Ugh. So they get fucked up faster.
I don't know all these little rules that people do too.
Yeah, inject them, smoke them, snort them. It's crazy.
See, I don't know all these little things people do to try to get more fucked up. I'm like, all right, I'll just get a little fucked up on the normal.
Yeah. You don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah, you don't want to be. Okay. There's never been a good heroin story, you know?
It doesn't end well, really.
Yeah, they were like, oh, dude, we did heroin all weekend. We hooked up with a bunch of chicks, and then Monday morning we went to work. It was great. You know, it's awesome. I bought a new Lexus on Tuesday. That's never been a heroin story. Yeah. It's always... I got high. I sucked cock for heroin. That's what happens.
Then I sold my mom's car for more heroin.
Yeah, right.
I saw Requiem for a Dream way too young, and that scared the hell out of away from me. Because at the end, he does it so much... Chop his arm off.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what, a 20-year-old movie?
Yeah,
something like that?
I saw that when I was probably 14, 15.
Oh, man.
And that scared me. I was like, I'm never doing anything like that. But
yeah. It's just you know, as a comic, you see so much drug use, okay? I mean, so much drug use. And I came up in the 90s, okay? Coke was everywhere. It's so funny. When I did Mr. Maron's podcast, I worked with him like 3 weeks in a row, okay? And he forgot that we had worked together. And he goes, how could I forget working with you? And I go, because you were coked out of your fucking mind, and you were such a dick. And he goes, I was such a dick. I'm so glad to be clean and sober now.
Oh my
I was
God.
such an asshole. You're absolutely right, Ralphie. I was such a dick. And I saw so many people. I mean, the first gig I did that I got paid was Sam Kinison. All right? And just watching Rails A-Blow and shit like that. Later on, like, I was good friends with Mitch Hedberg. And Dougie and I, we actually told Mitch, hey, you need to fucking slow down on all them goddamn pills. He was, towards the end, he'd be on stage and just have people throw their pills on stage. Really? And he'd just take them.
No way.
He'd take 30 pills in a night.
I thought he was a heroin guy.
He was. He was an everything guy.
I think once you get to the point of
Opiates.
like heroin, you're just like, you'll take anything.
Yeah. He, I couldn't go. I was out of town. But I got called when he got stopped by TSA at in the Austin airport because his leg was gangrenous. Okay? They could smell it.
Oh.
They could smell the rot
Oh my God.
in the back of his knee. And
That's what he was injecting.
yeah, it was
he was injecting into his knee?
Yeah, the back of his knee.
Oh.
And it got gangrenous, and he almost lost his fucking leg. I kind of wish he had.
Do you think he would have? Do you think he would have lived if he had lost his leg?
You lose your leg, you make life decisions. Okay.
Yeah, you're either gonna die faster
Yeah.
or live longer.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, he was such a great comic, but I know the reason why he did drugs, and it's something that nobody ever talks about. He had amazingly a huge fear of. That's mine. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
He had a huge fear of public speaking.
Oh.
And that's why he wore sunglasses, and that's why he always looked down, because he was fucking really nervous. He was real anxiety ridden. Like, when I first started hanging out with him, when Dougie introduced me to him, we were red wine and marijuana, okay, with the occasional psychedelic, okay, a shroom, acid trip. I mean, in Houston, Tommy Rhodes and I were talking about it. There was this hotel that all the shit bands that would come to Houston, all their crew would stay there, and all the comics, we all stayed there. It was called Allen Park Inn. And it was basically our country club because the rooms were like $30 a piece. And so the club just kept them there all the time because it was cheaper. Mm. And so that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, that's where we went and partied. Partied our fucking asses off in that spot. And Tommy reminded me, I forgot, I was so fucked up. Myself, Tom Rhodes, and Mitch Hedberg all ran naked through the sprinklers at the Allen Park Inn. Okay, and then slip and sliding. Okay, and
actual slip and like the slip
yeah,
slide?
yeah, but it was just on wet grass.
Wet
grass. Just all covered in grass, naked, fucking laughing around on shrooms.
Oh my God, that would be
fun.
It
was crazy. So when I see, people doing drugs all the time, it's like you kind of know it, and you know what's up. But I mean, I've seen so many people overdose. I mean, I've not actually seen them, but your friends just die after another, after another, after another. It's really, like I pitched this show to Comedy Central. You know how musicians, they'll do tributes. They all get together and play somebody else's music as a tribute for them. It's like, why don't we do that with comedians? Where we all just get up and do our favorite bits of that person. That'd be such a great show.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
And we could have a little biography at the front, tell them who they are, what they're doing, stuff like this, and then show the comics talking and then doing the stuff in front of an audience. It'd be such a badass show.
Would, 'cause you can go as far back as you want to.
Dude, you can go back to fucking Jackie Gleason.
Yes, man.
You can take it further than that. I mean, you can go back to Uncle Milty.
Oh, wow.
But also, just give credit to where it's due for, like, Patrice and our friend Mitch Mulaney. He was a great comedian, and nobody knows it. Mitch Hedberg, great comedian.
He wasn't related to John Mulaney at all. Right?
No. John Mulaney was an open micer when Mitch was a headliner on TV.
Freddie Soto passed away.
Yeah.
I think late 39, 40 maybe?
Yeah.
Young,
I think people are just so young. By the way, we also have Ricky Cruz with us.
Oh, yeah. I thought we did that already.
Yeah.
Can you establish that yet?
Ricky Cruz, great comedian, travels with me all over the country from Miami. I've known him for 20 years. He's fucking funny as shit. If you ever get a chance to see him, watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. We'll see.
So, and you guys met when you guys were doing comedy
in Los Angeles. Yeah.
I was green as shit. I had just gone there, maybe 2 years in, maybe 3. Rob had already been doing it. I don't know. You're doing
10 years, 12 years by then.
Ready headlining.
How many years have you been doing it now?
27.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Been doing it more years than you've been alive. It's weird.
Not really.
Yeah, right.
What is your podcast age?
Yeah, right. I've been doing it a long fucking time, man.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's so crazy to get, Twitter fucking trolls blowing me up saying I hate your comedy, and it's like I was doing comedy before you were alive.
Exactly.
All right, I had a young comic staying with me because he was broke, and me, I'm a sucker for comics, and so I've got a big ass house in Nashville, 4-bedroom house, and honestly, no, it's just me. So I was like, hey, if you don't have a place to stay, you can work out of here and just stay with me, and you don't have to spend any money on rent.
I'll take Miller Lite, whatever you don't want.
I just want Budweiser. And so,
this is so nice. I've never had delivered drinks during the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome. And by the way, if you're going to be in bed, you should have drinks at all times. Okay.
Okay. This is what my podcast has been missing: drinks.
Without a doubt.
Really?
Get loosey goosey. Okay. It'd be a funny podcast if you just. I'm saying take it to another place, get even crazier with it. Like since it's Sleeping with Sarah, just get in bed and get drunk and see where it goes. Okay, and record it. It'd be hilarious.
Because you already have the bed part.
Yeah, you're in there.
Put some libations
and you're,
in there.
What,
I think you forget that most of the time. Polyamorous.
Well, yeah.
But I'm saying that you forget that most of my guests are male comics, and one of the first things you said to me,
don't bang comics.
Don't bang comics.
Okay, but since you're polyamorous, with a friend that's not a comic, and then somebody can bang.
Then it's just a porn. It's not a podcast. It's an audio porn.
More people watch it though.
Yeah, no shit. You get through the roof numbers.
On this one, bro.
Yeah, not for nothing. What are you trying to do here? If I can have a career and make some money. Okay, come on.
Reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, right. Come on.
It works.
There's a reason porn's popular.
God damn.
It's popular.
Man.
People like it.
Look, it'll be audio. It'll be like,
Oh, that's hot.
Audio porn? Is there such a thing as audio? I'm
sure it is.
Man, I tell you what, I got a boner today from watching Law and Order SVU. There was a teacher banging a male student in her car in the fucking in the opening scene. Oh my God, she was a filthy animal.
Oh man,
putting on her dress in the scene, like, you man. Dirty bitch. I like it.
Nice, bro.
I know. It got me all fucking wound up.
Bro, we get boners watching HGTV.
Oh, my God. Oh, we do. Flip or flop.
Are you guys like 12 years old? Like what?
Okay.
Thank goodness. Listen.
All right. We've been weeks without pussy. Okay. You gotta understand. Man. And there's 3 guys living on a bus. Okay. A bus with great suspension. So if you start jerking off, everybody's gonna know.
Wait, what?
You can't jerk off.
You can't jerk off.
So you can't jerk off.
You're in a tight space there. It's like you're in a submarine.
Yeah.
Picture being in a submarine.
Yeah. I guess I never really imagined that because that's just crazy. Yeah. So you can't like. No, what do you guys do when you have to do that?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. I mean, Ricky gets hotel rooms more than I do. So. That's when Rick knocks it out.
Yeah, wink, wink.
But like, if I was gonna hook up with those chicks in Peoria, I was gonna have to say, guys, you gotta stay off the fucking bus. Give me 45 minutes.
And all right. It was like 15 degrees in Peoria.
Yeah, it's 15 degrees. They weren't gonna fucking wait outside.
Oh,
so it cost me a fucking threesome.
And we had to leave. Where are we going?
But if it was
Omaha.
But if it was a threesome, like, would it be worth it to get a hotel or go to? Well, I guess you don't want to go to other people's places now.
No, it's Peoria talent that you're picking up at 12:30. Okay, I mean, serious.
Talent. I love that you're talking about it like you're casting something or
exactly.
Peoria casting.
Exactly.
It's like
it was fun. It was a little fooling around, but just enough to make you feel energized, feel like a human. Yeah. But, you couldn't fucking knock it out, but who cares? Shit happens. Shit happens. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
You I think that you're supposed to get exactly what you get in life. You know.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
I don't think people are never content. You know, one of the commandments is don't covet what other people have. You know, and that's what people do. They covet. They get jealous and they want more of this and that. Just be happy with what you got.
I think that there's a difference between that, though, and, like, complacency. Like, you can want to have ambitions to do more things, but...
Of course. But you also can't call yourself a failure because you didn't reach some milestone.
Some imaginary milestone that you put up for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, by a certain time, you didn't make it like you thought you were going to make it.
I mean, because both of you guys have been doing this for, you've been doing 19 years, Ricky?
19 years.
27. So you guys have been doing this for a long time, so you see it go, and you see people come in and out. And
go. Come in and go.
And go. Peace out. And...
Yeah, you see, and then they come back like 5 or 6 years later. Hey, I'm going to get back into it. No, you're not.
You can't stop this shit.
You can't stop.
It's an addiction. So what really got you guys addicted?
Not as an
initially?
addiction. You just can't stop it. If you want to, put one foot in front of the other. Because if you stop and try to come back 5 years later, I know Ronnie Age, if you did it, yes, the work, people have done it, but you just got to keep pushing forward, man, you know? And eventually, where you're supposed to get, you'll get to.
Yeah, that's where you're supposed to be. You know?
So, I mean, but what really, the first time, what was the first time? Do you remember the first time you ever did stand-up?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. How was yours?
Mine was mine?
Yeah, how was yours?
Mine was fun. I have been doing improv and sketch for years. Chicago.
One of those sketch bags. Jesus. Mercy. I can't believe I'm talking to a sketch bag.
I know.
Chicago, you're too wrapped up in sketch.
Give me a fruit. Okay, give me a fruit, a career.
Yeah, let's play Madness.
And a situation. Okay, you're a pineapple.
Yeah.
So I had been around doing that, but then I got frustrated because it's 8 fucking people trying to work out your schedules, try to get a run. We'd have a run here, run there, and then we'd stop. And
they call it improv, and it's rehearse.
And you still rehearse improv because you still got to learn to work together.
Yeah, because there's rules of improv.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure you're on the same page with the rules.
And then there's sketch where you got written stuff. But anyway, so I was part of these groups, and they were great. We'd have fun runs, but then we'd all end up stopping, and I was like, I want to perform every night and not depend on other people.
Right.
So then I just looked up the closest open mic to me and went.
I'm going to blow your fucking mind, okay? As an old comic, how long you been doing stand-up now?
3 years.
3 years?
It's embarrassing compared to your,
No. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Exactly. Okay? Everybody has a third year. If there's going to be a fourth year, they were in the third year. Okay? Question, though. Have you gone back up and done a new 5 minutes that you've never done before?
Absolutely.
That's fucking awesome. Most comics don't. It takes usually 7, 8 years for people to get back to the bravery they had when they first started. To do 5 minutes of new stuff that you've never told before, that shows a maturity that a lot of comics your age don't have. That's a telltale sign.
Well, sometimes what I do is try to give myself, I'll start out, if I'm miking or trying, I'll come up with a theme or an idea, and then I just try to write 4 minutes. Our comic slots in Chicago are usually 4 minutes for mics. So then try to start with a 4-minute chunk, see what works, and then cut it down.
You know what's great about that? Is that's the exact time that you need on the Tonight Show. Or Kimmel, or fucking Colbert.
Yeah.
So you have to have that.
Yeah.
4 minutes. 4.5.
Where did you do your first mic?
In Fayetteville, Arkansas. On Highway 71, the Shakey's Pizza.
Is that still there?
Yeah, I think it is. Unless it's been bought and sold. That Fayetteville's one of the fastest growing parts of America, Northwest Arkansas. Oh. Everybody wants to be there for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know why.
It's cheap and great university right there. And there's a lot of job opportunities in that spot. It's blowing up. Okay? And but then it wasn't. Then it was it was Fayetteville, Arkansas. Okay,
that's all it was.
I had it's a long story. I'm sorry. I know you get bored easy and come on.
You might fall asleep.
Oh no! I'm not gonna. Trust me, I'm not gonna fall asleep right now. I'm gonna be fine.
Is that the goal?
Yeah, no.
The goal of sleeping with Sarah. Actually, that would be an interesting goal.
Fall asleep or something?
Yeah, right.
I want to hear the story though.
It started when I was 16. I wouldn't do homework in my high school, and so they had me tested to see if I was retarded, and it turns out that the IQ was really high, And so it got the attention of the University of Arkansas. So I was able to go to high school and college at the same time.
Wait, so you got tested? The only reason you got tested is because they thought...
I was retarded.
What? Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah.
Why did they think that? Like, was there...
I wouldn't fucking do homework. I told them...
Because you were bored.
They're trying to make me into a drone. That's all homework does. It's not, like, the knowledge you gain is so minimal in compared to the effort that it takes to generate it. That's what they're trying to teach you. Keep your head down. Do what's told. Do the fucking work to the best of your ability.
Oh.
That's what the training is.
They're teaching you to be like a worker bee.
Exactly, a drone. Mm-hmm. And I realized that and said I wouldn't do it. And they can go fuck themselves. If I can make A's on the test and not miss a one, then that's how I'm showing up, okay? Matter of fact, I got 25 days that I could be absent. I'm taking 25.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yes, I'm taking 25.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't need to be around all this drama. Fuck you.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah,
you know? And so I won a contest. I was with my study group from the university at the Shakey's Pizza. We were celebrating pizza. They were having pitchers of beer. At that time in Arkansas, you could drink when you're 18. And I was getting fucked up on fucking big red cup Cokes. Okay? Like all the sugar and caffeine was spinning me out of control. And they said, Ralphie, you're hilarious. There was a contest that if you won, your table got their tab taken care of. And, you know, we had 2 pizzas, 3 pitchers of beer, a pitcher of Coca-Cola, a salad beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay, you're at $60.
Easy.
They're like, dude, you got to go up. All right, I'll go up. And I went up and did like 5 minutes of kind of shitty jokes. But afterwards, I got a blowjob from an unattractive girl behind Shakey's in a dumpster in the front seat of my Cutlass Supreme. And I said, fuck school. All I want to do is comedy. You know, I just made A's in organic chemistry, anatomy and physiology and stuff like that. And nobody sucked my dick for that A. So why was I, you know, what's the whole purpose here? You know, why do you even have a job? All right. You know, I don't need a lot in life. You know, why do I have a job? Just to get money to get my dick sucked.
I can do a shitty set.
Exactly. It's like, exactly.
And get my dick sucked.
Exactly. Fuck 4 years in student loans. Fuck that. Fuck $1,000 in books.
For real.
Fuck you.
So much student loans.
Fuck you. I get my dick sucked for telling jokes. Fuck you.
Come back and
yeah, suck my dick twice.
So you clearly got into it to meet girls. That's...
You know, I think if I look back on most of the things I've done in my life, it was for women. Like I was, except for Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts was just to get the fuck out of Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Australia with Boy Scouts. I went all over the country with Boy Scouts, Canada. And I was a badass in Boy Scouts. I was an Eagle Scout with 4 palms. That's the best you can get, okay? And order the arrow vigil. I mean, it was bad. And but I was trying to I went to Explorers, okay, and I wasn't trying to be a EMT or firefighter, or a doctor, or a nurse. I was just trying to finger bang Melissa Ward. Okay? That's all I wanted to do. You know,
I love it. You're like
reason.
First and last name, Melissa Ward. If you're listening,
yeah, Facebook, baby.
Have you ever hooked up with someone that you wanted to hook up with when you were younger and hooked up with them later? When
you know what's better than that?
What?
Is in high school, I wanted this girl so fucking bad. And we were dating for like a couple of weeks. Just got to second base, okay? And prom was coming up. And she dumped me for a guy who was assistant manager of Sonic. Okay? All right? I was 16 and he's 18. Okay? And you know what's interesting is she ended up marrying that guy, had 3 kids. He's out of work and got a hurt back, and she's the assistant manager of the same fucking Sonic.
Oh, damn.
That is so much better than fucking a chick who didn't want to fuck you and then getting to fuck you. Right? It's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
Wow.
Her life is fucked.
Her life is fucked. Her life is fucked, you know?
Ricky, did you get into this because you wanted to get ladies too?
Well, I think every guy does something just for women.
Is this it?
I think so. No, but this, you know, that's definitely a motivation factor.
Yeah.
That's for sure, you know? Just the attention you might get, shit you might get laid after the show, which happens
I don't think it happens as much for female comics. I don't think
it can happen because it can happen for females anytime they want.
Anytime they
want. Everyone says that. Wait, everyone says that, and it's so annoying because, like, yes, we could, but like, there's different quality. Like, you guys, it doesn't matter who you're.
Really? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Come on, of course it does.
Yeah, but a girl can go to.
You guys can get. Guys can.
But you can go to the guy you want and say, "You want to get down?"
Not always, because a lot of them.
Yeah, you could.
95% of the time, you say,
you got balls. You'd do it. You'd ask a guy, "Hey, not for nothing. Let's go fuck, please." You probably said that before to a dude.
You can tell
I don't
Listen,
like.
It's not gonna take much time at all.
What?
15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's just.
See, that's the thing. Like, I personally don't like. I've had one night stands with women, but not one night stands with guys.
Really?
I don't. Well, I mean, they end up not being one night stands because I've hooked up with them again. I don't count that as one.
No, that's a one night stand.
Still, if you're gonna hook up with them after many times.
Not really.
No.
It starts off as a one night stand. A lot of great relationships start off as one night stand.
But they're no longer one night stands after
that. But then it's not.
Yeah, but it doesn't negate the fact that it was a one night stand.
Yes, it was, but it doesn't continue to be.
But like pretty much everyone except for women have been like people if I've had sex with them, I've had sex with them again. So it's not like, because my whole thing is if the sex is, I don't want to have sex unless it's going to be good, you know? And if it's, and if it's good, then why?
Crazy talk.
I know. It's like
crazy talk. Like, that's woman talk.
Standard too high, man. Sex
roll it back. Roll it back.
When it's bad, it's good. When it's good, it's good.
And then if it's good, I want to have it again. Like, that's just I think that's not a bad.
You know, when it's bad, I want to have it again too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hey, that bitch improved.
I'll never do that again.
Yeah, right. That
was terrible.
She'll work on a follow through this time.
So you guys both. And where did you get into comedy at? Miami?
In Miami, at a Comedy Zone. Just hanging with my buddies. Like, man, you got to do this, man. You're funny as shit. And it was like the next night, I saw they were doing it there at the Comedy Zone. Buddy Bolton. Buddy Bolton, man.
No.
Yeah, you know that name. Who's running into? Buddy Bolton.
I remember the name, but I don't remember.
He ran the night. He ran the mic night. I went up there, and it was amazing, man. I crushed it. I killed it. I was like, fuck, I'm doing this, man. And then I went back, like, the next week and bombed my ass off. It was like a whole table of girls got out and walked away. I was so crushed. I was like, this sucks. And I was like, well, you know what? But this is when you got to get back up.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy. It was easy to come back after you were good.
Right.
If you come back next week, then you're onto something.
Yeah.
Well, it's when you don't get discouraged because there's so much rejection that you go through.
But it hurts so bad. When you see a whole table of people just walk out your second time, and I'm already driving home, and I was like, you don't come back next week, you're a bitch.
Yeah, right.
And so I went back, I was like, okay. And we got, but you know.
Right.
You start straightening the ship a little bit.
So when you guys both started, were you at places where, because comedy is different, were you only like once a week you could get up, or like how often were you able to get up?
I was at a place like that.
Yeah. I moved to Houston at the behest of Sam Kennison, and I could get 9-10 spots a week, like 8 to 10 minutes.
What? That's great.
Yeah, because Houston at the time, it was the 4th largest city in the nation, and it had 6 or 7 rooms that were all great, and like the Spellbinders rooms in Houston, they'd have 500 people on a Tuesday.
What?
Fucking Tuesday. The shows ran from Tuesday to Sunday, and not one show was not sold out. Not fucking one.
And this is in the 90s?
In the 90s.
So do you think that the effect of like the internet and people being able to watch shit just made them not come out to the clubs as much, or?
I think it's happening that way, but I think people are catching on that comedy is an ethereal art. You know, it's like the audience is the canvas. Okay, that's why it doesn't translate to TV or audio. It just doesn't. You have to be in the room. Mm-hmm. You're a part of it.
It's the energy of the room.
Right. Yeah. That's what makes it come to life. You know, I mean, you can paint by numbers on a special on TV, and people will get it. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. They're not crying, laughing. You know, usually it's not conducive to comedy in those rooms. You know, it's like the lights up too high. You know, got to be dark. You got to be a little drunk. You got to be fucking ready for it, just to lower your inhibitions. You know, so you don't go, oh God, that's horrible. I can't believe you said that. You know?
Yeah, so that you're not uptight about a joke.
Right.
You got to be, you know.
Right. So I think that's what's happening. I think there's a deeper appreciation for stand-up now than there was in the 90s. I mean, there was a glut in the 80s. They call that the boom. Okay. And then the 90s was the bust. Like, Houston in 4 years went from 8 comedy clubs to 1.
Oh.
Yeah, and 1 B room.
Wow.
1 A room and 1 B room. All the Spellbinders that had all those people in them, folded like fucking house of cards. But the little comedy showcase where I started and the Laugh Stop were fucking deadly rooms. Deadly rooms. You had to be good to go up in those. I mean, you were falling headliners when you're first year in. It's like you gotta come with some fucking jokes or you can get your ass ate. Okay? And that's how it was. Oh, and I also did the hip hop comedy stop, Steve Harvey and Rashawn McDonald's room.
That's
I was the only white guy there.
In Miami in 97, 98. Like for me to get up a lot, and that was like 3 or 4 times a week, I had to do Def Jam rooms.
Yeah.
There had to be black rooms. So like my first 2 years was all black rooms.
I miss Jokes and Notes. Jokes and Notes used to be this club on the south side, and they closed it. And that was like a really cool room. That was different because like their mics were even like shows. Like they packed it out, and I think you need to be funny everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
And like that's what I liked about that room is to get different.
Yeah, you got to be funny everywhere. You know, I mean, only certain parts of your audience are going to be just like you. You know, you have to be. I think that's a lot of times, you know, like the knock on women comics is that they're not doing jokes for every audience member. They're doing jokes for women, and it's like only half your audience is women, and even though they're half, they're still the minority. You know, they don't for whatever reason they don't get behind other women. You know, they kind of catty like that. You know?
Yeah, it's weird, especially because most women in the audience are brought in by dates. You know, it's usually the guy that has the idea, that buys it. So that is an interesting way to look at that. I didn't think of that, but I don't know. It's I don't know. I think funny is funny. Like you think about like shows like Broad City, you know, like
hilarious.
That's a hilarious show.
Hilarious.
But they're not just trying to cater to women. They're just they're funny.
They're broads.
Yeah.
I mean, by definition.
Yeah, it's a 2 female lead show, but like. I know so many guys that find them so funny. It's like you can still have that balance. I think it's just about figuring that out.
Yeah, I mean, I reject the notion that women comics aren't as funny as men comics. I mean, Kathleen Madigan, fucking woman.
Mm-hmm. My first experience with comedy was with my mom a lot, and it was Joan Rivers and Carol Burnett.
Oh man, deadly.
And I was like, dude, my mom liked them. She laughed her ass off. I sit there and watch them with my mom.
Yeah.
And like, these ladies are hilarious. And of course, Lucille Ball.
Hilarious.
You know? Of course, Lucille Ball, man. I was like, man.
Well, you're Cuban, so you're raised on Lucy.
When I hear women can't be funny, I'm like, man, dude, my first comics I really loved when I was a kid were all women. Yeah. It was Lucille Ball, Rivers, and Carol Burnett, man.
That's great, man. So those are what were some of your influences then?
Well, the first I heard stand-up comedy was listening to Red Fox party albums on my granny's record player. And I heard him. I heard Dick Gregory, Moms Mabley, Lenny Bruce, George Carlin. And so it was all secret and dirty and naughty. And then in the 80s, I mean, Eddie Murphy just blew up. And then the first mixtape of Andrew Dice Clay. Okay, it was crazy.
The first inkling that I wanted to do this.
Jackpot.
Yeah.
There's a Cuban comedian called Albritton. He's really known in the Cuban community, man. And he's stand-up. You know, he had albums like Richard Pryor. And my family would sit around just listening to this guy's albums, laughing their ass off. And I was sitting there, I'm like, wow, you can do this? You can make albums of comedy? People sit there and buy his shit? I'm like, oh, that's interesting, man. And it's the effect that he had, those albums would have. Because there was no entertainment back then. We didn't have cable TV. So
Telemundo.
So they played the records, then they played dominoes. They drank. They drank a lot. The women went over there and talked. The man went over there and they played their dominoes. And then they would listen to the records. And I would go to bed. I remember being a kid, go to bed and just hearing the dominoes across the table. Shh. When you watch the dominoes, shh. Yeah. Just being in my room with my brother. And it's 3, 4 in the morning and they're still playing goddamn dominoes. Listen to those comedy albums.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore, hardly. People come in from drinking and getting stoned. They'll turn on comedy. That's why Netflix is so great. It's so popular. It's the proper vehicle for stand-up. You know, it's uncensored. It's on demand every time. People just watch, and then it suggests to other people. You know, you pull up one of mine, 4 other of my specials come up, and then Fluffy and Bill Burr and Tom Segura and Kathleen Madigan pop up, and all these other great comics. It's just nice to be in that fucking.
Yeah. That list of people. Yeah. It's nice to be in that sentence.
Say that about you, man.
Well, I know we're going to get kicked out here in a second. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I've got one more question for each of you that I was in my podcast with. I know we didn't really talk that much about dreams or sleep, but I always ask people, like, what are your dreams for your future, for yourself? Either in comedy or in life or anything.
It's a very heavy question. Dreams for me, I hate to be like so, oh man, so deep and melodramatic. But I always think of my children. And that for me, when I pray, I just pray that not my own success, which of course I love, but man, that my children can grow up and be stable and comfortable their entire lives. That I give them some kind of foundation where they can provide for themselves. And then when they have children, help them provide for them and teach them the same things. Because if I had the choice to be a super famous comedian or have my next 3 generations never be homeless, and be able to take care of themselves and provide, I'll go with that other one every day of the week. I'll be a regular PE teacher the rest of my life if I can guarantee that, my dream of the rest of my family never having to be one of those people that, God, man, you live under a bridge or, don't have to go to foster care or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a dream for me, stability in my family.
Amen, man.
That's great.
Amen. Mine, I don't know. It's like, as far as career goes,
I mean, you're pretty set.
Yeah. To be honest with you, this is a weird thing to announce on a comedy podcast, but I kind of want to get out of it.
Oh, wow.
It's like, after 27 years and 11 specials, and, I'm like Bon Jovi. I've seen a million faces and I rocked them all. Mm-hmm. It's like, what more do I have to do? I mean, take over the world and be like like a Kevin Hart or a Russell Peters, or are you just fine, Because, people go, oh, you made it, you got the bus, you've got homes, you've got cars, you've got, commas in your bank account, okay? And they go, wow, you're the top of your game. You made it. Mm-hmm. When I got into comedy, I thought I wanted to be the best. And if I just got to the top of the mountain, I'd fucking own it. You know what the top of the mountain is? You know what's up there? Nothing. None of your friends are up there. None of your joy is up there. None of your happiness is up there. You are all by your fucking self. And all you can do is look down on everything. That's all that's at the top of the mountain. And so, to be honest with you, I don't fucking want it anymore. It's like, I got kids, and I'd much rather be like a representative, be the people's voice, be the Vox Populi, of like where I live in Tennessee. I love those people, they're goofballs, they're not everybody's the best educated, not everybody's got the best, but they're fucking quality people, and it's like, that's what I want to help those people out, people like I was when I was a kid, broke, dirt motherfucker, okay, 1 pair of shoes, house with fucking wind, no opportunities, no good things, and not only happening for me, I didn't know anybody in my little town in Arkansas that had good things going on for them. Nobody, not one positive fucking thing. People like after school, I'm going to go work at the Tyson plant, or I'm going to work for Walmart, or I'm going to, it's like nobody had dreams. Nobody, and I did. I went out and got them, and now you got them. What the fuck are you supposed to do with them? It's like, did being, 11 specials and 27 years in comedy and a multi-millionaire, did that save my marriage? No. Did it get me do I get to hug my babies every day? No. Do I get to even sleep in my own bed? No. I'm out on the road, 240 days a year or more?
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so I have no bed. That's mine, except for the bus. Okay, that's basically my bed. And it's like, you miss certain things, home-cooked meals. Hanging out with non-comedy friends. Okay? It's like, I don't have hardly any non-associated with comedy friends. And it's like, you miss it. You miss, like, regular people, regular problems. Like, I'm not connected. And that's what my comedy's always been about, is being connected, being empathic to others, And you get to a point where, honestly, as much as you try, you just can't because you're so far away from where you thought you would be. You know, it's like Dane Cook. When Dane hit the top of the mountain, and for all that success and all those hundreds of millions of dollars that came in, he lost both his mother and his father within 8 months to cancer, and his brother-in-law stole $11 million from him, and his sister was complacent in it. And so, you know, what did he gain from the top of the mountain? Nothing, when you consider what he really lost. His parents, his sister, his family. It's hard. You know, it's like you see that time and time again, you know. What I respected about when Dave Chappelle left the Chappelle Show was, and I know why he did, and we've talked about it, and he said I was the only one who got it, is when Comedy Central announces they're paying you $50 million, and your whole thing is being of the people, of the hood, smoking weed, hanging out with your bros and stuff like that, but everybody finds out that you made $50 million fucking dollars, you can't connect to the people anymore.
You're not related. You're not relatable anymore.
You're not relatable.
Not a normal person has 50 million.
Right. And so that's why Chappelle left. It was too heavy for him. It's like you're killing the golden goose by getting the short money instead of the long money. You know, A lot of guys step away from it, you know, at certain points. But me, since, you know, TV and film have never been my thing, you know, never been something that was easy for me to get. I just told jokes, you know. A lot of people get into comedy to be an actor or director or fucking whatever, a writer. I just like telling jokes, you know. I like making people laugh, you know. That's why people go, "Oh, you're famous." Am I? Just a comic, and I think I just outlasted all the competition. You know, I'm not like there's no award because you make it to 27 years. You got to put in, you know, work.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you're like, I don't give a fuck either, you know? What would I rather do? I'd rather work on something exciting instead of making people laugh. It's like, I've done it for 27 years. It's like, you know, and what makes it fun still is that I have new jokes. That's one of the biggest pressures I put on myself to write is because I just get bored.
You come out with, like, a new hour every year or something?
Yeah, thereabouts. And it's... Most comics come up... Well, George Carlin said that if you write 10 to 15 minutes of great comedy a year, you're a superstar. And it's like, I write special after special after special. Not a superstar. Just a comic. You know? So, my dream, honestly, get out of comedy and go into politicking. See if I can represent the people. You know? Somebody needs to call some people motherfuckers to their face.
Yeah. Run for office? What would be your slogan?
I don't know. The voice of the people.
Voice of the people? Ralphie May?
Ralphie May.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see where that goes for Tennessee, right?
You know, you don't know. I mean, I've already been taking meetings with the Tennessee Democrats.
Oh,
and,
for real?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're talking about running me for governor. And I'm like, I think it's too soon. I want to shoot for like 2020.
Get a congressional seat first in the state, right?
It's easy to get governor than it is to get a congressional seat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit.
In Tennessee it is. It's all Republicans.
But that would flip it blue.
All I have to do is beat out some Democrats, and it'd be down to me and that other guy. And I could spin anybody out of anything. I could out debate them. I'll think I'm faster than them. You know, it's no problem at all.
Oh, I would love to see you debate certain people. Like, just to see, like, if you were able to debate, if you were able to debate Trump.
Oh my God!
Damn!
I would have laughed his ass off. I would have like, oh, that's hilarious. Oh, you're killing me. Oh my God! Come on, man. Seriously, you don't believe that? All right, that's what I do. I'd trash them, make them look retarded. Okay, like you're afraid of your shadow. Viciously attacked me. That's what bears do to white people in the woods. You dumb fuck. Viciously attack. Suck my dick. You know, I think that I could do great things because I have my own money. I won't get bought, and ultimately, I don't give a shit. It all goes for the fucking people. If it's not good for the people, it ain't good for me.
That's a really great answer to that question. That's awesome.
Well, I expect it. So, Are you gonna sign on, or are we gonna do some more time?
No, I was gonna say thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Oh, our pleasure.
Thank you guys.
We did it twice. That's how much we liked it. It was so nice we did it twice.
Ricky Cruz, Ralphie May, vote for him in 2020.
2020, 2022. I don't know. Somewhere around there.